All right, gang, we're talking big figures today, and I'm talking Mondo. All right, guys, so I've talked about a line that I worked on back in my Hasbro career, and that was these 12-inch Marvel Legends. Now, I talked about the shortcomings of this line and what the line should have been. And there's a line out today from a company that I've never bought anything from until recently, that to me is what the 12-inch Legends should have been. And I'm talking about Mondo. Those of you guys familiar with Mondo, they've been doing some 12-inch figures. They do MOTU, they do Marvel, they do Thundercats, Ninja Turtles. Now, I've been wanting to get one of these Mondo figures just to see what they're all about, because they're not like Hot Toys where it's like, you know, the majority of the figures about the soft goods and these artisan type figures. What Mondo is doing is they're making big versions of like action figures. And again, that is what the 12-inch Marvel Legends line should have been. That is what I envision it to be. So, going to get into these Mondo figures for a second. But again, just to reiterate, I worked on the 12-inch Marvel line, and it was doomed from the start, you know, because we were looking at doing something premium, you know, something, again, just like what Mondos are, 5th panel, like this should have been like this. We looked at 12-inch Legends as what Transformers Masterpiece was doing, something high quality, high offering, something that wasn't just a scaled up Marvel Legend figure. You know, premium accessories and deco, and it just should have been a really awesome figure. And when we started, they were supposed to be $75. When they got to retail, they ended up being $50. And it, you know, they told us at the end of the day, we ended up just making a scaled up Legend figure. You know, it's like, yeah, I got soft goods out of Thor, but I didn't get to do what I wanted with this line. And I was so psyched to do this line. I thought it had so much potential. Now, when I see the Mondo stuff, I look at it and I kind of get a little jealous. I'm like, that's what Legends should have been. Now, I'm going to open these figures, and I'm going to see if my theory is right. Now, again, this faker I got at a specialty store, it was $160. I don't know what it retailed for. So in the chat, let me know, guys that collect Mondo, let me know what the retail price of these Mondo figures is. Probably wouldn't have been the $75 that we were going to get with these, but we might have gotten somewhere in the middle between this offering and this offering. So let me get the old guys out of the way, and let's get into this guy. And then as a bonus, Matt brought me a little gift here. It's the Mondo Leo. So I told him we could open it up. So we'll do that last. So let's get into Faker. So again, 5th panel. You know, you get a Mondo figure, you kind of know, like, you're getting something premium. Like, it just has that feel to it. Something that the Legends figures just did not have. I did want the regular He-Man. I saw the Hordak. The Hordak was cool. But, again, for this video, because I wasn't sure if I loved Mondo, I wanted to go with a lower price point. So I went a little cheap on these ones, and I got the lowest price one they had, which was Faker. Of course, you know, like, Faker's awesome. So I'm not totally mad about it, but, you know, I mean, look, the She-Ra figure looks really, really cool. The Battle Cats they have are pretty amazing. I don't know if it's like $800-900 amazing, but, all right. So, very nice box. Let's see. Let's cut some tape down here. I'm not crazy about the double blisters, because then it adds a lot of glare to the figure. You know, if you found a way to just keep them in and just have the window, you know, but that's just being picky. I just think if you're getting a $100 item, it shouldn't have the glare it does. That's why, like, when you buy import figures, they have all this plastic and glare. It's like, I want to see the item. So, all right. I mean, right off the bat, I mean, it's got weight to it. This thing is pretty impressive. Oh, the sword's not floppy and bendy, you know, as it shouldn't be on a $100 plus item. So really nice detail on the sword. Let's see. So there's the figure. Comes with a bunch of hands, extra head. He's got his sheath. He's got a base. He's got an axe, shield. Very nice stuff here. A lot of nice deco on these, as it should. Look, guys, if you're buying this stuff, it should be pretty, pretty premium. New car smell. But again, it's like, this isn't like a Hot Toys figure. It doesn't have the soft goods. It's a giant articulated action figure. And you're going to say, well, Hot Toys are articulated. Yes, it's just a different offering. These figures aren't. They have some soft goods. They're just not covered in soft goods, and that's not what the main thing is, like a Hot Toys figure. So sheath is nice. Ooh, that fits very nice in there. Ah, they put like a very, very thin layer of foam padding in there so that it hugs the sword and fits in there. Super nice. Ooh, well done. Well done, Mondo. Something tells me I'm like, watch, by the end of this, I'm going to be like buying Mondo figures here. Let's see. Gotta love figures that come with stands. Pretty nice stand. Is that their logo? Is that the Mondo logo? I think that's an M. But it's not the actual side that goes up. The side that goes up is that side. It's got like a Hot Toys type stand here, where that snaps in. It's like this, the metal doll stands.
Is that not the Masters M?
It is not the Masters M. It's some kind of M. I mean, it could be used as a Masters type, and it's not the Masters M. It's some sort of design I've never seen before. Someone will correct us. All right, let's get into the big boy. Woo! All right, they protect it well with all the plastic on it stuff. Jeez. Yeah. Okay, so 12-inch figure. He's got this, fake leather loincloth here. He's got fur on the boots, which is very, very nice. All right. Let's see. I mean, the deco on these are very, very impressive. Let's see. I'm looking to see if his secondary comes off, and if so, how it does. Because just like the original figure, he's got the robot, sticker under his chest there. I'll have to look to see how this comes off. I don't want to break it. When you buy something this premium, definitely don't want to break it. Good movement on the head. Good articulation. Simple ball joint, double ball. Nice. He does look like Schwarzenegger. And it's nice they give you the original vintage looking head, which is always fun. I'm not crazy about that head. I'd rather, when you're displaying something premium, like I want it to look a little more premium, like not like that head. A bunch of extra hands, which is nice. He's got, not the greatest range of motion. Again, it's like, this is like, you buy something this expensive, the last thing you want to do is bust it all up. I mean, I'm not trying to look up his skirt. I'm just looking to see how he's built. It's like a thigh cut would be nice. Butterfly shoulders, like, this is a premium figure. It's a little lacking in the articulation. I mean, the double knees are nice. It's it's all pinless. Good range of motion on the knees. The details fantastic. Single jointed elbows, which never great, but you gotta remember. So, all right. So these guys are guys that come with swords. And, you know, it's like, it'd be nice for your figure to two-hand his sword. But that's all I get out of him. That's kind of a bummer. Like, you know, like, I want a little more. Well, for this price, like, if you're going, put it this way, if they said, okay, I bought it for 160. Say that was the retail, but it's like, all right, well, to add butterfly joints, it would make it 175. I'm pretty sure I'd still buy it. Like, it's like, that's when they take some of these cost-cutting measures, I'm just like, if someone's buying this, they're willing to buy these high-priced things, give them balls to the wall, man. Like, give us everything. Because, you know, like, this is a bit disappointing. The fact that he cannot reach across and he can't, you know, it's like, I didn't get the Lion-O, but it's like, if you can't get Lion-O to hold that sword of omens like this in front of his eyes, that's a problem. Now, guys, let me know if anyone has Lion-O. If you're like, yeah, he's got butterfly joints, cool. He does not, and he cannot go any further than this. Very disappointing.
How much more would it have cost had he had butterfly joints?
It's a very minimal amount because you could put the butterfly joints in one of the existing molds, and then, you know, it's a little extra labor because now it's, you know, now the other thing. So when you do butterfly joints, it's usually because you have an ABS torso. So that the torso's two halves and it entraps the pegs on the butterfly joint in the socket. This torso seems to be PVC. I see a parting line, but it's not a sonic weld, so that's how I know it's not ABS. So you'd have to make the torso in ABS. Now, the whole thing's covered in deco. So, like, I'm looking at his blue skin. Now, they probably molded him in some sort of blue color, but every inch of this figure has deco on it. It's like a NECA figure. Like, when you get a NECA figure. Now, perfect example. Zoom in on the back of the knee there. You'll see the disc is the more glossy color. It was blue. But there's paint over it that's scratching off the joint because POM doesn't hold paint. So even though they molded him in blue, they still covered him in blue deco, which is nice. It's a more premium feel like, you know, the NECA figures do, but it's like the feet are painted purple and the straps are painted black. All of it. Everything, every inch of this figure is painted. Now that's nice. I mean, head's a little loosey-goosey here. You know, I don't know why some corners are cut sometimes. I mean, again, it's like this figure, I can't get his torso to like really budge and move. And I'm like, I don't want to force it and break a $160 figure. But it's like, at the same time, it's like, you guys got to make this thing work. You got to make it so it comes out of the box at work. This is another reason why I don't like fully painted figures, which is why NECA had some issues with their figures. Because when you fully paint a figure, that paint on paint creates friction, like, friction, so it locks up, and that's when things break. You want to have some freedom to move around here. Also, it's like the figure can scuff easy. So, perfect example. I'm trying to say. Okay, so this rubbed on his shoulder, his harness. So if you zoom in on the bicep there's a paint rub mark. Because the paint from this rubbed onto this. Now, paint doesn't transfer to unpainted surfaces easily, but paint to paint will always rub and transfer. That's where you like. That's why your tolerances have to be looser to be able to have clearance between the painted parts. Like you just have to. Like these all painted figures. You see a NECA figure sometimes they scuff really, really easy. I mean, like, there's a lot of awesome points. Like, he looks fantastic. But looking fantastic and performing fantastic are two different things. Again, I'm trying to see here. If they didn't make this come off, like if this is all glued on, that's unfortunate. Because the whole point of He-Man figures was you could take their secondaries off. Now I'm looking at the attachment points. They all look like they're glued together. I mean, maybe I'm going to look online to see if I can, detach this. But the whole point of like seeing Faker was you see the robot part underneath him. So again, if I can't get this off, then that's a bummer. Like I want to see Savage He-Man with no stuff on him, just jacked and looking to not two-hand his sword. It's like there's some good range of motion here, but okay, so when you have a boot on a figure, the cut, it acts like a free articulation point. The upper calf is glued into the boot. So there's no articulation point here. You lost that. I get so frustrated when it's the easy stuff.
What do you think the reason for it?
I don't know. And it's so like baffling that they would do that I can't even think of a reason why they would do that. It's incredibly frustrating when I see the easy stuff missed. Incredibly easy stuff missed. So I guess this slips on. Yeah, it probably slips on his secondary like this. Man, there's some stuff I just don't want to break. Okay, I'll have to look at pictures on how people got past some of this stuff. The axe is cool. And the shield is cool. He's cool. He's just missing a bunch of stuff. Stand is like not. It needs to be slightly wider. Maybe like half an inch more on each side. Because it's like, if you have them stand, then I gotta have my He-Man figure stand. I want a power stance out of these guys. Like I want that wide power stance. And then he's off the stand. I mean, these guys are big. He stands on his own. It's not like you need the stand. Stand doesn't really, like, again, there's nothing on this. It's not like the stand's a showpiece. There's nothing to it. Like a Mezco stand. Yeah, I mean, he's got some trigger hands. He's got some C-grip hands. He's got fists. Man, I really wanted to open this figure and be blown away. Be like, yes, let me go on eBay right now and buy a ton more Mondo figures. Because like when I saw that first He-Man, like he looked really, really good. But it's like that's all you're getting out of an elbow joint. Like, man, you could have got more. You could have got way more. Some people in the comments are gonna be like, "Oh, you're too hard on it, bro. It's a $160 figure. Like, $160 figure. This thing better move. Better perform. Again, like no thigh cut here. So like I can, it's like, yeah, you get, some range of motion there because they made the ball socket. I'll hike up his skirt a little bit. Don't want to get canceled here. It's like the ball socket it moves pretty well. So you don't need maybe that's why you don't need the thigh cut. So I'm okay with that. I'll correct myself on that. You don't need thigh cut. But again, you lost it on the boot. Like that's free, man. That's free. Guys, Listen, I know I'm not the greatest designer in the planet, but like, this is just stuff that should be easily caught. Easily caught. But it's not. It's not. Again, the torso articulation, like, I'm just, I don't know, you know, and then I got paint rub, and man, it's annoying. They look great. I mean, it looks like a statue. But again, it's like, also, you know, I started getting into like some Hot Toys, like 12-inch figures. They don't have the greatest range of motion either, because all the soft goods and stuff hinders your range of motion. So it's not like you're getting like the superhero pose like in these characters. You know, it's kind of generic, and it's weird. It's like the bigger you go, the more vanilla your poses tend to be. It's like, why? Like, you know. All right, so look. So my Thor did not have butterfly joints. He's got double elbows, double knees, and I bet you this range of motion is way better, and this range of motion is old. Let's see. When did these actually come out? Where are you? I hate when they hide the date. Give me a date, damn it. Pretty sure it was 2015. 2016. Yeah, I worked on them in 2015. They came out in 2016. I think my range of motion is better. And there's stuff this did better. Stuff this did better. Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, again, this is back to my original question. Like, is this what Marvel Legends should have been? Yeah. Like, yeah, it should have been more premium. You know, when you got these out, it should have felt like a closer experience to this than what we actually gave you. I think the 12-inch Legends also were hindered by their time. You know, I look back at them and it's like, all right, well, this was Tampo printing on the face. It's like, man, if they were doing the inkjet printing on these guys, oh man, the depth and shading I could have got on Thor's face would have been awesome. So yeah, so product of their times, but you know, to answer my question, yes, this is what 12-inch Legends should have been. Am I happy with this? I'm like 75% happy with it. Will I get more? I don't know. Maybe when we're at ZoloCon or something like that, maybe I'll see, you know, She-Ra or Hordak, or the Skeletor's really cool. We'll see. Maybe I'm going to do some more research on Mondo and see what people think. Is it kind of one of those things where it's like, yeah, man, this is what we're getting out of Mondo and we're okay with it? Okay. Well, I'm not okay with it. But, yeah, I mean, I'm going to let this guy sit on my desk and I'm going to let him marinate a little bit and see. You know, but, yeah, we'll see. What did I say? 75%? We'll see if that grows or shrinks or something like that. Maybe I'll keep looking at them and I'll get a little more annoyed at it or something. Maybe I'll get suckered into buying one more Mondo and seeing if anything's different. I wanted to get that Lion-O. Again, it was like $350 at this store. I'll have to see if I can get him cheaper. But I want to get him to see if I can get him in this pose. If I can't get him in this pose, signature poses, guys. Got to get these guys in signature poses. So, yeah. So that's my faker, and that's how I feel about it. Now, as I said, we were going to look at this gift that Matt brought for me. This is the Mondo Leonardo. Now, it's made to look very much like the vintage figure. It's pretty massive. Now, the reason I'm gonna call him out a little bit. The reason why Matt's gifting this to me is because he bought two, because he wanted to open one and keep one in the package. Little did he know, Mondo included a backing board for him. So you don't have to worry about opening him up and ruining your card back. You had one to display him with. And it's not just cardboard. This is chipboard. This This is game board. This is really thick stuff. It's called chipboard. This is what, board games are made out of. Very high quality stuff. So, had he known that they came with this extra thing, I wouldn't have gotten this gift. But they did, and he said they didn't advertise it this way. So if you buy a Mondo turtle, just know that it does come with this, so that you can display it. So that's pretty cool. But it's like I'm gonna rip this open. I'm gonna mess up this card back, but that's okay. I'm gonna see how this guy is. So let's see, 14 plus collector's models. This is not a toy. Okay. They do all their, they give credits to their concept artist, their sculptor, painter, packaging design, packaging art. Now, people have asked me, like, why don't companies do that? One, it's like Hasbro. It's like, the Hasbro logo, that's the credit. You're under the Hasbro umbrella. NECA gives credit to people. Now, also, Hasbro, there are a lot of people working on a product. You have designers, marketers, engineers, painters, sculptors. I said sculptors. The guys that work in the model shop that pour the resin models. And it's like, whose name do you put, whose don't you? Now, on Action Force stuff, I give credit to the packaging designers. That's on the packaging. The thing with sculpting, why I don't give credit on the sculpting is, like, sometimes I have more than one sculptor working on multiple parts. Also, when the sculpted parts, say I get a sculptor in the US doing parts, they go to the engineers out in China. They have to change tolerances, wall thicknesses, pull millimeters here and there, make things fit, get rid of undercuts. Are you putting that sculptor's name on it? No. So it's kind of one of those things where you can't list everyone, so you probably shouldn't list people, but it's like, again, it's my choice to do the credits to the packaging people, because it's on the package. The figure, it just is what it is. Again, NECA does this, but again, there are times where I was at Hasbro, I would working on an item, or I got inherited an item. Someone left the team and went to, like, Girls or Nerf or something, and I inherited their item. Well, what are you going to put? Like, every single designer that worked on it? What if it changes 2 or 3 times? These smaller companies, it's easier to keep track of the people working on it. I guess I'll just maul it, open it up. Oh, they've got a good heat seal on this thing. See how well I can keep it together. Not bad. Not bad. Now I can display the front and the back. New plastic smell. Don't think I'm weird. Everybody does it. Everybody does it. He's not as hefty. He's definitely not as he feels like hollow compared to him. Let's take this. Cut the corners out. I like how he gave him, like, a scar down his face, like when he fought Shredder. This guy knows where Splinter is. Five POA. He's got, like, 5 POA type joints. Would you say he was 90?
Yeah.
90. So yeah, not as expensive as probably these guys, but he is cool looking. Yeah, he's very much like the original figure. I wish he had an elbow cut. He's just 5 POA. Like, he's just a head, or he's actually 7 because he's got wrists. But he doesn't have the swivel at the elbow, which kind of sucks. His legs move up and down. Yeah, they don't. Yeah, just simple articulation. But he's cool. Like, that I'm definitely putting on my desk because he is cool. Great sculpting on them. Really great sculpting. Yeah, for what they are, they're cool. His swords look great. Yeah, but again, it's like, just like him, every inch of this figure is painted. So now the problem is that the handle of the sword's painted, his hands are painted. So I know I'm gonna try to like get this sword in this hand, and there's gonna be some paint rub somewhere because the hands are really stiff. I'm gonna try to get it in there and not this. Oh, jeez, man, hear that? All that squeaking. That's a tight fit. Woo. Okay, we got one in. I kind of want to see him. It's nice that he's got the double sheath. Certainly not going to get that other sword out now that I wedged in there with cement. Very nice. All right, Leo. Let's give you the second one. That one went in a little easier. All right. He looks cool, man. He looks cool. Yeah, I like him. I don't know if they're worth $90, but now that Matt gifted me this one, I might have to get the rest. You didn't get all 4, right? No. I'm gonna have to get all. Did they make a shredder, or is it just the 4?
No, they made Gecko, Mondo Gecko.
Mondo, yeah.
And I think they made Baxter.
Ooh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, interesting choices. You don't do shredder.
I mean, not yet.
Not yet, but I'm interested to see how they do a like more human looking character. Do they do them squatty like they
they
like
did Ray Fillet.
Okay.
And they look freaking great.
Yeah, these are, what do they call these? Like what's
Vinyl figures?
They call them just, yeah, because they feel, that's why he feels hollow. He's vinyl-y. But
which I think is kind of bad marketing because it puts him in the pop category.
It does, because it's like $90 for a vinyl figure. Okay. But I'm like,
it looks awesome.
It looks awesome. Like I'm way more psyched about him than I am about Faker. This figure's cool. Like his detail's cool. Like, yeah, would I have liked elbow swivel? Sure, because I would have posed out his swords a little differently. But he's pretty awesome. I mean, the legs don't really go that high. If anything, I would have not given him leg articulation and given him elbow articulation. If you're gonna like cut corners there or like try to keep to the same cost, that's what I would have done. Because that leg gives you nothing. These legs give me nothing. You can't kick. You can't do anything. So the little bit I get out of his legs is not worth it. I'd rather have him in the elbow. That's my only gripe. But other than that, man, he's really cool. So, that face sculpt is phenomenal.
Yeah, the face really makes it. So what's the $90 for? Is it for him or is it for the card?
Let's see. It's late in the day, and I'm trying to put on my product development hat here. That card ain't cheap, man. Chipboard's expensive.
2 of them.
Two of them. But it's like, I mean, it's not like you're printing a new card. It's just you're just doubling up on the card, which is fine. I mean, big blister, like a really big blister, sticker on the front. I mean, him, it's a lot of deco. I don't know enough about how vinyls are made. Now there's blow molding or roto molding. So blow molding is like this. So the plastic drips down, hot plastic, in like a wad, and it gets sandwiched into the mold, and then air is blown into the top part and expands these areas to the wall of the mold. And then that's blow molding. That's how you get the inner cavity like that. roto molding, like a Cabbage Patch Kid doll head. You have instead of being a 2-part mold, it's one mold with a giant cavity inside of it. And you shoot the plastic in, and it, almost like when you go to Home Depot or Lowe's and they shake the paint cans, they put the mold in like one of those centrifugal force things. My terminology is terrible. But it shakes it and vibrates it and turns the mold so that it pushes all the plastic to the walls of it. That's roto molding. I believe this is similar to that. I would have to, I'm certainly not going to take him apart, but you know, if you did, that's probably what you'll get. He's very light compared to injection molded PVC. So he's got hollow parts to him. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of cost and a lot of deco. You're painting every inch of this figure. You know, because like I said, I mean, I can't even see any area of the figure where I would see mold color. Because I can't see any exposed joints. You've got 1 part head, 2 arms, it's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 for the tail. The shell. Alright, so the shell and the torso is all 1 part. So they roto molded that. That's not glued. So what was that? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then this is probably 10, 11, 12 parts. 13, 14 for the swords. Swords are probably in their own mold. The bandolier, the sheath is in its own mold. The head, the arms and legs, and the hands are probably in their own mold, and the torso is in its own mold. So 4 molds. Not a lot. But yeah, the deco is the expensive part. I mean, this... I'm not going to... I can't really speculate. I mean, what this figure should cost. I mean, they could probably get away with 75 on them.
I think because you like it more than that figure, that adds a lot to the...
It does. It does. Like, I love this. Like, put it this way. Like, if you told me the other 4 would be $90 each, I'm like, okay. Like, just because I want all 4 now. I love this figure. I think this figure is great. This is one of the coolest figures I've gotten, whether gifted or purchased, in a while. Like,
You're welcome.
Yeah. Thanks, man. So yeah, it's kind of funny that I started this video talking about, you know, these kind of Mondo figures, and I ended up like loving just these vinyl Mondo figures. Here I was thinking like I was gonna get turned to buying more of these. Now I'm gonna buy all these vinyl figures. Do you know if they do other lines besides Turtles in the vinyls? I'm sure they do. Mondo does a bunch of stuff, but Turtles lends itself to this scale. Like this, it's a interesting scale. I don't know, what is that? 8 inches? If this is 12.
6 inches.
This isn't 6 inches.
Or 8 inches. Don't tell my wife.
Yeah, it's 8 inches. So
Look at the Ray fillet though. I mean, that would look so cool.
That's pretty awesome. This might be the one Turtles line that I get into. Modern day Turtles line. Yeah. These are cool. They just look cool. You know, and it's like they didn't go crazy with the changing the details. Like, yeah, he's got that cool scar on his face. I'm not mad about it. They put some rivets on his sashes here. Other than that, like, he's the same look. I think that's great. Yeah. So, well, guys, hope you liked my gushing over Mondo vinyl figures. Because that's, you know, that's what we ended up doing here. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you are liking and subscribing. We have new content coming out every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. If you like this content, make sure you guys are looking at our library, our old content, because we got some great videos there, and we've got even more to come. So stay tuned.